Good afternoon, everybody. So this talk is about how to uh, transform Python code, and I'll be focusing at the bytecode level. Let's start an introduction. Um, so let's see how Python code actually gets executed. So you write Python source, and that gets transformed into Python AST, and the AST is taken and a bytecode is generated. The bytecode is then interpreted by the Python interpreter. Now, you can change the functionality of the code by without modifying the original source code. So you use the original source code, and this is what gets executed over here. But before it gets executed, you can modify what actually gets executed. So that's what we call code transformation. So let's see why would we would do such code transformation. Now, you might want to add a new language feature, but of course, adding a new language feature requires somebody to patch the Python source code, and you don't really know if it will get approved or not. So if you want to get a, oh, sorry. So if you want to add a new language feature, and you don't want to modify the original Python source code or somebody to patch the Python source code, then you can write a transformer that will transform the code before it gets executed. And there are other reasons why you would do this. For example, you want to redefine an existing language feature, then also you can use code transformations. So let's see some real-world use cases for this. For that, the transformation can at both the AST level and the bytecode level. So we'll be looking at some of these transformations at the bytecode level. So there are some real-world use cases for this. One is implementing goto in Python, and another is this ORM called Pony ORM, which uses bytecode manipulation. And there is Pyro test, which also does something similar. So let's see some of these use cases. Now, why would we want goto in Python? Now, there's one use case actually in a person wanted to implement a transcompiler that would compile from one source language to another source language. So he was trying to implement a transcompiler for C to Python. Now, when you want to implement a transcompiler from C to Python, and want to do it at the source code level, then you need to convert the gotos in C to some form in Python, and without gotos in Python, it won't work. So we have a Python module called goto, which uses bytecode manipulation to achieve what goto does. Right? So here you can see that we have a function definition with a decorator, and here we have a print hello and then a goto exit and a label exit over here. So what this actually is actually an object.attribute access. Goto is supposed to be an object name, and exit is an attribute access on it. But what this decorator does is it takes this goto exit and replaces that by, it takes a bytecode instruction for that and replaces the bytecode instructions that appears over here with a jump instruction. So you end up with a jump instruction jumps over here and then skips over the world. So you can see this code in action over here. So we have this code example code listed for you. And if you try to run this, you'll find that it skips over the world and prints goodbye. So this is done by bytecode manipulation. And if you want to look at the source code for this module, it's over here in GitHub. Don't worry about the link. I'll be sending you the slides. So then look at Pony ORM. Pony ORM actually is a ORM which actually allows you to take these objects that you create in your program and then automatically commits them to your database. So here we have this Pony ORM database link being created over here. And we have a database entity, a person with a name and age. And we are binding to a MySQL database. And then here we are actually creating the tables, nothing special so far. And again, we are creating some of these objects in the database. The moment you come out of this context, it'll actually commit these objects in the database. Now, okay. So now you can see that there's this select statement over here to fetch objects from the database. And this select statement is actually a Python generated expression, which is converted to SQL by bytecode. It takes a bytecode and then converts that into AST, converts the AST back to SQL, and fires a SQL request. And that's how it fetches objects in the database. And so that's another nice example of how you can use bytecodes to achieve this. So since we're running out of time, this is something that PyTest also does. You can look at the links later on. And there are lots of interesting things going on. There's a way to standardize the Python bytecode. There's an effort going on over there. There are efforts to add code transform APIs to hook into the Python and then transform the AST and bytecode on the fly. So if you're interested in bytecode hacks, there's a talk tomorrow by me. So there's also a talk on AST hacking today. So if you want, you can catch up with us on there. Thank you.
Thanks, Vijay.